All right, so Peter, I want to ask you about this new book out because Hillary Clinton was already asked about that book and its allegations in New Hampshire yesterday. Here's how she responded.
Well, we're back into the political season, and therefore we will be subjected to all kinds of distraction and attacks. I'm ready for that. I know that that comes, unfortunately, with the territory. It is, I think, worth noting that the Republicans seem to be talking only about me. I don't know what they'd talk about if I weren't in the race.
Okay, so this book, Peter, was written by a conservative scholar and former advisor to Sarah Palin. So will the allegations in this book have legs?
Well, what you heard from Hillary Clinton there yesterday was interesting because, remember, Carol, she is the one who termed the phrase vast right-wing conspiracy. The Clintons, for years and years and years, have worked to fend off attacks from the right and also characterize legitimate criticisms from Republicans as, fringe attacks. That's what they're going to try to do with this book. However, as you point out, Peter Schweizer, the author of Clinton Cash, he is a conservative scholar, went to Oxford, recently partnered with 60 Minutes, on a story about insider trading in Congress, partnering with the New York Times and other organizations with this book, which lends a veneer of credibility to it, in addition to the fact that, look, even before this book popped yesterday in the news, there were already questions about donations to the Clinton Foundation. The Washington Post did a big story about this in February, looking at whether, foreign governments, including Algeria, were able to sort of get access to the State Department while Clinton was Secretary of State with donations to the Clinton Foundation. So, look, the question of whether or not there's a quid pro quo is what is ultimately going to be at issue here. Was there something specific that donations to the Clinton Foundation, to the Clintons, whether through or otherwise, got them while Clinton was Secretary of State? That's a legitimate question, regardless of who the author is, left or right. So, look, they're going to continue to fend off the book by saying it's just yet another book in a long line of conservative books. But I don't think questions about her time at the foundation are going away. In part, Carol, because of that email scandal. Remember, she gave 50,000 emails over back to the State Department from her private server, but she also deleted a bunch, which, again, feeds into various theories about maybe she's trying to hide something from investigators.
Jeff, there are signs that the Clinton campaign is worried about this book because the Clinton Foundation put out a statement. Didn't you call them for a statement?
That's right. The campaign put out a statement, but even more than that, we saw the Secretary herself, the former Secretary of State, addressing this. So this is what one advisor referred to me as a fire that we need to put out. This is the first time the Clinton campaign has responded as aggressively across the board. In an interview last night with the top Democrat on their campaign, John Podesta, through surrogates all day long. This is the first test of the Clinton response. And they don't necessarily believe, and they say there's not a smoking gun in the book, but they are worried about just the whole discussion of trust and credibility. So this is the first example of something that they are trying to push back on aggressively. So we'll see if that works.